We're in the Batesville Memorial Public Library, and I'm in the activity lab with you and a castle and some people that, well, they're not people, they're animal puppets. I have them out today because of the book we're going to be reading. It has to do with being invited to a tea party at the castle. The Queen invites them. But I wanted to go over something that's going to be happening for summer reading program this year. The theme is Imagine Yourself. Now, when I'm talking about, or imagine your story, not yourself, but imagine your story, but it is about imagining what you would be if you would like to be when you grow up, or maybe what you like to pretend, and that's the theme, Imagine Your Story. So in this grouping of puppets that I have out here, I wanted you to notice that we have a king and queen lion in the back. Whoops, there goes our damsel. And they're in the back of the castle. And then we have two princesses. The lions are the king and queen, but the princesses are the elephants. And this one is another little princess because she has a veil just like our damsel, our lady in waiting, they called her. She would help the queen get ready each day and be about the children so she'd know what was going on. And then we have a knight in shining armor here. The bear is dressed as that. And we have a little monkey who is a jester. Now, Jester was a person that was humorous, had a sense of humor, and would come to the castle. He lived there too, but he would come to the castle to make comedy or jokes to make them laugh. So he was entertainment. But I also wanted to point out that we have the dragon right over here. And this dragon, even though he's a puppet, could cause a lot of trouble in the castle. But that's another story. The reason I was pointing out the dragon is because in our lobby, when you come to summer reading program, well, we'll have a huge dragon inflated with air, and it will be there for you to have photographs taken with it, and along with some princesses, and there'll be this castle hanging up, so you'll have a backdrop so you can remember what summer reading theme was about. So, let's get to the book, and let's start by, like we always do, look at the front of the book and the title page inside. This is called Never Trumpet with a Crumpet. And remember, we always look for the book on the shelf with the letters of the author. And this is Amy Gibson who wrote this. And Jen Hardy, well, she's made all of the art inside. She's the illustrator. There's the Queen. She's just finished making an invitation out. And there's the title page with Never Trumpet with a Crumpet. And it looks like an elephant's trunk that's holding on to an envelope. What do you think? That must be one of the animals invited. Here we are in a formal dining hall. And so all of the chairs and the table in the middle are very large. And here are beautiful things to eat. They're delicacies. They're cakes and they're cookies and some fruit dipped in chocolate, of course. That would be a fun thing to have, something yummy from chocolate. But it looks like the Queen's coming into the room, but the little prince doesn't look happy. And I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't know who's been invited to the tea. Now, if perchance your Majesty, who is messing this all up, so we'll see why he was a little grumpy. Maybe he didn't know that there were animals invited to the tea. Now, if perchance your Majesty happens to ask you to tea, it's time to press your Sunday best and she'll put your manners to the test. So if this happens to you, you'll want to make sure you wear your good clothing and come to the castle. You curtsy, you speak when you're spoken to, and your Majesty, how do you do? Nod to greet the prince and the duke, And don't bend or flap, or a fin or a fluke. So you would curtsy by bending your knees, if you're a girl, and you would bow and put your hand in front of your tummy if you were a boy meeting the queen. And did you see them all lined up there? They're waiting to take their turn to meet the queen. Did you see there's an opossum hanging on the trunk of an elephant? What a funny illustration. Sit up straight, don't slump, don't slouch, set your napkin on your pouch, but I would put it on my lap. And have patience. Let your hostess pour and ask you if you want 1 lump or 2, not 3 or 4 of the sugar. So the opossum is in charge, and the sugar bowl is being balanced on the nose of a seal, and the opossum takes out how many lumps of sugar you want. However, I don't see the hippopotamus using a cup. It looks to me that she's pouring directly into its mouth, but still using its manners. Do say thank you and do say please. Cover your cough or your sneeze. Achoo! Good manners. Do you see the giraffe? He sneezed and he covered his mouth with the napkin. Sip your tea, don't lap it up. No blowing bubbles in your cup. And show courtesy. Don't take too much, but always take the one you touch. That's a good thing to remember, because other people don't want to eat what you have touched with your fingers. So just take one thing. Uh-oh, I see a claw all the way around this cake. Oh, by the way, did you notice how happy the prince is? I think he's enjoying the day of tea, don't you? I see what the claw was. It was the lion. No woofing your food or snapping your jaws, and use your fork and not your paws. And resist the urge to lick your chin, and choose silverware from the outside in. That's a whole other manners course. And goodness gracious, never trumpet when you're nibbling on a crumpet, or you will spray everyone in the room. It looks like the elephant had a sneeze. And so if we take our arm up like this and pretend that we have a big trunk like an elephant, we could maybe make a sneeze like an elephant. Like that. That's why you always cover your sneezes and cover your cough. You don't want that spraying on other people. Try one bite of food you hate. No hiding the crust beneath your plate. Dainty bites. Please chew your food, but never chew the cud. That is rude. Oh, do sit still. Refrain from your spills and mind your antlers. Watch your quills. And you no reaching, grabbing, mercy me, however long your tongue may be. Have you been to the zoo? I have seen the purple tongue that comes out of a giraffe's mouth and wrap around the hay that's in a basket. He doesn't have any fingers to feed himself with, so he uses his tongue. And here is that purple tongue, and it is reaching across the room to get something. Leave elbows off the table, dear. No swinging from the chandelier. That would be our monkey friend. Don't drain your teacup to the dregs, and never gnaw on table legs. Oh, our friend lion, he forgot his manners. He's already gnawed on this one. It almost looks like a pencil point. Now he's over here. But do you notice the little prince? He's very entertained. He's having such a good time. However, the queen is concerned about her table legs. If you know just what to do, and thank your hostess when you're through, Her Majesty will be impressed to dine with such a lovely guest. Oh my goodness, Now the table seems to be falling over. And then as you go your merry way, the queen will smile and wave and say, "It's such a pity you can't stay. Do come for tea another day." Now we have to take a rest. So you hear the queen going, and the prince says, "Shh." Cute book, huh? Well, you know, we can't make crumpets today because that would entail baking in an oven and it would take a while. But I wanted to share with you one of those yummy snacks that I find easy to make and people in our houses would enjoy eating. So I'm going to move myself over to the kitchen area and we'll look at what I have. A yummy snack that I was telling you about that we could make easy at home. Mom would have to do something in the microwave, but the rest of it, you're on your own. First of all, I wanted to show you that I have little discs of chocolate. They come in a bag like this, a clear bag, and they look like that, not as big as a quarter. And I put them in this bowl to heat them up to dunk the chocolate with a pretzel. And the pretzel, you see, is a twisted pretzel because this is one of my favorites. It's a butter-flavored twisted pretzel. This is what I did with the milk chocolate ones. I simply dunked into the cup that I have here, and I brought it out, and I laid them in rows to dry. Then after they dry, I put them in little Ziploc bags, and I give them to my family at home. And it's their little snack for that afternoon. It's a fun thing to do. Now, because my little discs need to be melted, I'm going to be putting them into the microwave for just a little while. And then, once it melts down, we'll be able to coat the pretzels. Okay? Well, I've softened the chocolate. I tore off a piece of wax paper to line my tray. It's easier to pull them away when you have some lining underneath. Otherwise, then you have to clean the tray that you put them on. So less time. Now, we're going to stir this a little bit and make it all liquefied. And I want to tell you about the microwave. What's important to know about the microwave is this. You never want to put the chocolate in the full current. You want to put it in on defrost, just for 2 minutes at a time. And then stir it each time you take it out. That way it won't burn. And it'll make it so smooth. So I'm going to take one of the braided pretzel and I'm going to dip it in. And then there's a little twist I give it, just like that with my wrist. And I lay it to the tray then. So in and twist, and then lay it on your tray. And as you're doing this, you may have to sneak one because I'm not very good at keeping the sweets away from myself when I'm making them. But that's okay. I would say that you'd want to make about 30 for each Ziploc bag, because wouldn't that be a nice surprise gift for your family? Just to say, hey, for snack today, I made something extra special, and I want to share with you and say, this is a gift from me, because you're the cook. So anyway, that's the beginning of your 30 that you would put per person. But just know, you must never cook them in the microwave. You must always defrost them in the microwave, 2 minutes at a time. And your little disc will melt into this liquid. And then you stir it, and after you do that, it's nothing but dunking. So enjoy your day. See you next time. Bye-bye.